So 2 weeks ago, I did a video answering where I thought Nikola stock could be at the end of 2024. And that video has done so well. And I got so many requests asking where I thought Nikola stock price could be in 2 years, not just in 1 year's time. So that's what I'll do in this video. I'll give investors what they're looking for. I'll answer what I think Nikola stock price could be at 2025, by the end of 2025. It's going to be a similar format to my previous video. I'm going to update the figures to account for 2025 numbers instead of 2024 numbers. So let's jump in. Let's look at the details.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right, so one of the numbers we're going to need is the current stock price, which is at 65 cents per share. Nikola's stock price has been on a downward trend for several years now after hitting a peak during the pandemic frenzy of all EV stocks. Nikola stock was one of those that jumped to unrealistic highs, and now it's down to 65 cents per share. Just in the last 6 months, it's down from over $3 per share down to 65 cents per share. So we're going to use this number. We're also going to use Nikola's price to sales ratio, which is currently at 13.6. We're going to need this number as well. Additionally, we're going to need the estimate for where Nikola's revenue will be in 2025. So according to Wall Street analysts that are following Nikola stock, they think its revenue will come in at 612.97 million for 2025. Now, this estimate is up just from 2 weeks ago when I was looking at the evaluation for Nikola stock in 2024. Analysts have increased their expectations, increased their forecast for Nikola stock, which is good news for Nikola stock investors. They could certainly use more of that with the stock being down as much as it is. They need more good news just like this. So let's look at the estimates here. Now, I mentioned already that I had done a video about where Nikola stock would be in 2024. These were the estimates at the time of that recording, which was about 2 weeks ago. You can see the 2024 estimate for revenue was 263.98 million. That has moved up to 276.5 million. The 2025 estimate for revenue has moved up from 576 million to 612.97 million. So analysts on Wall Street that are following Nikola stock have upped their targets, and that's good news. That means they think better of where Nikola will be in 2025. Also, what I have here is diluted shares outstanding, 990 million shares outstanding. I'm estimating, this is my own estimate, that Nikola, by the end of 2025, that they will have 1.6 billion shares outstanding. That's what they went to investors to get authority for, and I think they will max out the number of shares they sell into the market between now and the end of 2025. They are losing a lot of money on the bottom line. They need to fund those losses somehow. They don't have too much cash on the balance sheet, so they're going to need more cash. And I think they're going to sell stock to get that cash. So that's why I'm estimating that they will have 1.6 billion shares outstanding by the end of next year. So when we take our revenue estimate and we divide by the number of shares outstanding, we get a sales per share of 38 cents. And that's what I've used here. 38 cents for revenue in 2025. I've also used the starting point, the 13.6 price to sales ratio that we got from the current market valuation. Right now, it's trading at a price to sales ratio of 13.6. So I'm just taking the numbers as it is for my first valuation estimate. And if Nikola hits this 38 cents per share revenue figure in 2025 and the valuation estimate stays the same, then the stock price could be $5.17 by the end of 2025. That would be a huge increase from the 65 cents it's currently trading at. Nikola stock investors would definitely be happy with that result, although it would still be below where Nikola stock price was at the peak in 2021 where it was closer to $30 per share. I don't think the stock price is going anywhere near that valuation, maybe ever. So investors need to adjust their expectations here. This would require a remarkable performance in order to have this $5.17 stock price in 2025, which I don't think is very likely. What I think is more likely is the price to sales valuation will decrease over time, and that will look at different scenarios here. So at a price to sales of 5, Nikola's stock price will be $1.90 by the end of 2025, which again would be really good. It would be almost triple where it's at now. Or if the price to sales falls to 2.5, the stock price will be 95 cents per share. Or if the stock price falls even more, the valuation falls even more, the stock price could be 57 cents per share, which would be below where it's at now. Now, those were several of the estimates that you can use to make the stock prediction. But as investors, you have to pick where you think it will be. So you make these estimates, but then you pick. And so my estimate, my pick, my base case scenario where I think Nikola's stock price will be by the end of 2025 is somewhere between 95 cents per share and $1.25 per share. Somewhere between 95 cents and $1.25, which would be higher than where it's at today, almost double where it's at today in 2 years. Now, before you go and think, well, that means that Nikola stock is a buy, I want to caution you on that jump to conclusion there, because this base case estimate that I gave for where I think Nikola's stock price will be in 2 years has a wide range of outcomes, a very wide range of outcomes, more so than perhaps any company that I follow, because Nikola is in such a risky position. Right now, it's still performing the work to deliver back the recalled trucks. And we don't know. Now, management said they're going to start redelivering those trucks in the first quarter of 2024, but we don't know for sure if they're going to do that. We don't know what the final cost of those recalls are going to be. We don't know about the government mandates for trucks. We don't know if those are going to be pushed back, paused, delayed. Governments have been known to do that. So there's a lot of risk involved here. So in my opinion, the risk versus reward is not worthwhile for Nikola. I think there's too much risk and not enough reward for investors in this stock. However, I can still say that I think Nikola's stock price will be higher 2 years from now, right? But as an investor, you have to consider the risk that comes along with that increase in valuation. And it's the risk that causes me to say that I don't think Nikola stock is a buy. Still, I think the price will be higher. I hope that makes sense, right? Because I think it's too much risk for the potential return. If you liked the video you just saw and you want to see more just like it, please subscribe to the channel. I can't keep this channel free without the support of viewers like you. And if you're already subscribed, thank you, and I appreciate your support.